First up tonight, special guest, Margot Cairns. Lovely to have you with us, Margot.
Hello, Steve.
And you were on the show about early April, I think it was. Margot's a corporate strategist, and you walk into companies, you consult with a lot of CEOs, not just here around the world, and you reshape the company. And it's a very sensitive thing because for a lot of us, and I quote, there's 40 to 70% of people within the next 10 years that are going to be out of work. There's big changes coming.
Huge changes. Well, they're already here, Steve.
What do you put that down to?
Oh, the new technology. So, you know, when machines were invented, we all came in out of the agricultural areas into the cities, and that completely uplifted it, sort of upended everything, changed everything. And now the technology's changed again. And, you know, like, I was thinking, you know, like, once upon a time, you kind of met someone in your village or your town and you married them. Well, now you go on the internet and you know, go on Match or RSVP or whatever and get someone from the other side of the world.
Yes,
you know?
and...
it's already happening.
A lot of those meet and greet places that we used to go to, albeit nightclubs, and even in London and New York, they're closing down at a rapid rate. People just aren't leaving their homes anymore.
Well, everything's going online, and we've got Amazon that's just moved into Australia, so we're going to see a lot of the shops close because people are going to be, well, they already are buying a lot online, but they're going to be buying even more online. Yeah,
but can I tell you, friends, because I'm closely associated with retail, can I tell you how many people, it's all very well, I don't encourage online shopping, there are so many people returning products to the stores, and I would never buy shoes online or clothes. I actually want to feel the shoes and feel that they fit, or the clothes. But there's bucket loads of fashion coming back into the stores for a refund.
Yeah, well, that's true. But, you know, we're a little bit older than, you know, the young ones coming through, and they do everything online.
Yeah, well, Australia Post...
I'm working with a real estate chain at the moment, and, you know, you used to go and you'd pay an agent and they'd do everything for you and it cost you a lot of money. Well, now people are buying and selling their own houses online. You know, you're not going to an agent to get rental anymore, you're doing it online.
Talking of computers, by 2049, you say that a $1,000 computer, well, many of us be around by 2049, a lot of you will be, but the world's information about everybody will be on this little chip.
Well, the computational capacity of the entire human race will be on that computer by that time. So computers are going to get smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter.
But our brains, we're, as humans, we're not conditioned to all this fast change.
We are not.
Can you see a crisis happening?
Well, it's already happening. So we have a world pandemic of anxiety and depression and suicide. You know, 800,000 people a year kill themselves, which is more than...
Well, globally.
Which is more than are killed by terrorists and natural disasters put together.
Yeah.
So we're just not coping. Our brains are... We've got caveman brain, and caveman brain was built for, you know, the most exciting thing that happened to you was a tiger and you ran away from him. And we still are in the same thing, you know, freeze, fight and flight. So when our brain guesses, feels, computes that we're not safe or the world's not familiar or something's not authentic, freeze, fight and flight.
Are women handling this better than men, or are men...
I don't think there's any difference. I mean, men are usually more successful in killing themselves, but everybody... Look, the statistics on people just collapsing emotionally, psychologically, spiritually are huge.
More than ever.
Absolutely. A lot of people would know Brené Brown, and she's got this wonderful thing on vulnerability on a TED Talk. 30 million people have looked at it. And what she says is when things start to change, we get scared, and when we get scared, we reach for, in her words, a banana nut muffin and a beer. So addiction is going up, depression is going up, anxiety is going up, suicide is going up. People just aren't coping. But we can cope. The thing is we can. We're just not.
Well, you're calling it the victim to the victor.
Absolutely.
How does that work?
Well, if we find ourselves saying, I should, I ought, I must, we're in victim. If we find ourselves saying he or she should, she or she must, we're definitely in victim. So we're really getting to a stage where we need to be saying, I want to. This is my choice. This is where I want to go. This is how I want to live my life. And really what we're learning to do is to reprogram our brain. We've got to get ourselves out of victim, out of caveman. Caveman brain is victim brain, and caveman brain is the world around me reflects back to me my own value. Right? So if I've got a good-looking partner and a lot of money and a nice car and a beautiful house and successful children, I'm a good person. But, you know, they say Facebook is the divorce lawyer's friend. You know, a lot of us are going to lose that handsome or good-looking partner. You know, a lot of our kids are going to have problems. A lot of us are going to lose our jobs and our money. So we have to find within ourselves that spirit that says, I am okay, life is... My partner died about a month ago. And people have just been amazed that I've just been so bright. And it wasn't that I didn't adore him. I did. It's not that I don't miss him. But he had a really good death and my life's fantastic. So I could sit around and feel sorry and say, he shouldn't have died and this shouldn't have happened and that shouldn't have... But it did. But, so, you know, you get on with your life.
Well, I admire you for that. But you obviously went into a part of... You were lucky to be able to do it. You weren't that attached. You were in a way.
I was very attached.
I would say you were. But I'm trying to get my head around this because you love this person.
I did,
you not only were
deeply
in love, but when the crisis came, and how's this for a saying? Is the price of love grief? But in this case for you, you've look at you. You're glowing. How did you cope with that?
Because he died really happy. He was in love. He'd been telling everyone he was the happiest he'd ever been in his life.
Yeah.
He was a first-grade footballer in his youth and he'd just seen New South Wales won State of Origin. Yeah. And he died peaceful in his sleep.
Yes.
So you go, how can you be unhappy about that?
Yeah, what did he die of?
I had a heart attack. Silly man, he should have gone to the doctor, but he didn't.
And that is rife at the moment. Even we're seeing on social media, if you're clutching your heart, that's a warning sign.
Yeah, well, he said it was self-diagnosed instead of going to the doctor.
Yeah, was he stressed?
No, not at all. He was happy as Larry.
Yes. Yeah. But the heartaches, the heart attacks are causing something, aren't they?
Well, whatever.
Or they're derived from something.
Yeah, whatever.
You talk about create a container.
Yeah, well, that's what we have to do.
What exactly is that?
So we have to fool our brains that we are safe, we are in a familiar situation. And how can we do that? Well, we can get very familiar with change. Yeah, we can feel very safe with ourselves. So if we're self-authoring our lives, if we're feeling powerful in ourselves, then nothing really is going to harm us.
Yeah.
Right? Because we are totally safe. So all sorts of bad things might happen, but that doesn't mean we have to fall out of our tree.
Margot, I know what you're going to say after this, but a lot of people don't want to change, and you're going to say stiff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I said last time you asked me the same question.
But, you know, there's a crisis happening. You've lost your job or you've lost your money. Yes, bring it on. Well, you're pretty strong, though, to be able to do that.
Well, it's not yes, bring it on. The thing is, shit happens.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do when shit happens?
Yes.
Are you going to sit in there? You know, I was just talking to Kira, the gorgeous makeup girl, before I came in. I thought I could feel sorry for myself.
Yes.
I really could.
Yeah.
But
it's
why?
A choice. Yes.
You know, I have a wonderful life.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can look at the wonderful life and the wonderful things that are happening and I can enjoy and celebrate that, or I can go, oh, my partner died.
What sort of new industries? You walk into corporates and you restructure. Where can you see it all heading? Oh,
it's all going to come through the IT. Definitely. You know, my son-in-law has got a very successful business. Started off selling sandwiches online.
Yes.
That fell flat in its face, so then he started to sell sandwiches through the tuck shops in schools, and now he's the financial system for schools and the NDIS. So what I saw was, again, shit happened. You know, we'll just move on. What next? Where are we going to go? How are we going to make this happen?
Yes.
And, you know, and he lives in Kingscliff, goes to work opposite the ocean, lives nearby. But, you know, he's building a community.
Really, we should be changing now, shouldn't we?
Well, we have to help our brains change now.
Yeah.
See, change is going to happen. I guarantee you out there, no matter what's happening, change is going to happen.
Yes.
In fact, it's one of the definitions of life.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a constant.
If you're not changing, you're dead, basically. Yeah. Now, a lot of the change that's going to happen is not change we're going to like. You know, I don't like the fact my partner died. I really don't. It's not fantastic, but he did, right? You know, people don't like when they lose their jobs. They don't like when they lose their money. But shit happens. So
yes.
The thing is, when shit happens, what are you going to do about it?
Yes.
And you can go, OK, this has happened. Now I'm going to self-author my life and get on with it. Or you can sit around and feel like a victim and be sorry for yourself and say it shouldn't have happened.
But where's all the money coming from? Because we're in the material world.
Well, the fact of the matter is some people have got a lot of it and more of us have got less of it.
Yes.
And that's the truth too.
But
so what are we going to do
about that?
Well,
the don't-haves are going to rise up.
Well, maybe. Against whom, exactly?
I think the system. I think there'll be, as we've seen in the past, where you'll get that collective and there'll be marches down the street. I don't know whether it's going to work.
Well, before we had people we could rise up against. Now it's machines we're rising up against. Now it's a new technology.
Yeah.
Now it's a sort of an invisible rich class, and they're pretty invisible. They say they're the 1%. They're pretty invisible.
Yes.
And that 1% are getting richer and richer and richer, and the rest of us are getting poorer and poorer and poorer. So again, you can feel sorry for yourself, or you can go, how am I going to, with this circumstance in my life right now, make it work for me?
And probably how it is going to work for you is to take on some sort of community involvement.
Absolutely. So it's all about relationships. So there's been this wonderful long-term study done by Harvard University, and they followed graduates, some graduates from Harvard and some people from the Bronx, very poor people from the Bronx, right through their lives, for 40 or 50 years. And the one thing that made the difference was relationship. So people that had happy, healthy relationships were happy. People that didn't, weren't.
Yeah.
And I don't think it stops with just your partner or your friends or your kids. It needs to go right out into the community, because we are all connected. We all breathe the same air. We all drink from the same water cycle. We are connected. So the more that we can sort of breathe and feel that connection together and work together and help each other and build our relationships, then we're not just doing it alone.
Now, advice for older friends who are with us. They're sitting at home and they're saying, I'm not sure what it is that I want to do. Do you have advice for whether it's male or female?
What they want to do, you mean with their lives?
Yes. They're saying, I'm not sure what it is I want to do. That's a very common phrase you hear from people.
Go and help somebody.
Yeah.
Forget about yourself.
Yes.
Roll up your sleeves and go and help somebody.
Yes.
One
door will open another.
Well, it's not just that. It's being in a community. So,
yes.
When you're out there and you're helping other people, it's like, I'm sorry I'm going to use the word God, but God or your spirit or whoever speaks to you. And when you're sitting there thinking about yourself in your own little pie and you're stewing, really, that's where you are. You're in your own little pie and you're stewing. If you're out there and you're helping other people, it's like you unblock your channels. And as you unblock your channels, it comes through to you.
Yes. Yeah, the law of attraction.
Absolutely. And just having enough space, for it to happen.
So where are you now? You're not retired. You're sort of living regionally in New South Wales, near beaches.
I'm about to I've actually started a computer company.
Yeah.
So I've started an online, taken what I've been doing globally for 30 years and I put it online, and we're currently selling it into some really major corporations. So I'm starting all over again. I'm a nana and I'm starting all over again, and I'm having a ball.
And do you consult people?
Absolutely. Yeah. And someone called me a CEO whisperer the other day. I thought that was a lovely, lovely topic.
Can I just ask you, workshops and seminars,
yes.
Have you got some coming up?
No, look, I don't really, because I basically work for companies. But what I have done is started a social enterprise. So what we intend to do is to put all of this online for individuals and for communities, so that they can learn to retrain their brains, so that they can embrace change, because it's coming, and it's coming tidily, and it's big and it's seismic, and get your surfboard and ride it.
Yes. Mark, do we have some details of Margot there we can put on the screen for you? Yes. It'll be on our website a little bit later on.
Wonderful.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank
I love you. Your spirit's so bright and happy. It's just, you've got a lovely message to impart.
Thank you
and
very
thanks
much,
for being
Steve.
a friend of ours on the family here, Margot.
It's a lovely
we'll place up those details a little bit later into the show on All About You, how you can contact Margot. There it is on our screen. And hopefully we'll get some friends of that family going off for one of your seminars. I wouldn't mind sitting in on one myself. Thanks, Margot, for coming on tonight. Lovely ladies who are